The 9-to-5 grind only gives us the weekend to really live.
But how much can you do in just 64 hours?
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jason.
During the week, I work as a CEO of a tech startup, and Jason works as a mountain guide and performance coach.
With full-time jobs and families, our weekdays are slammed, but our weekends are for crushing adventure.
The concept is simple. We have just 64 hours from 5 p.m. on Friday to 9 a.m. on Monday to go as far, as fast, and as hard as we can, with one goal.
To beat Monday.
On this episode of Beat Monday, Mike and Jason head to Hawaii for a two-part multi-sport adventure exploring the island of Maui. First, the guys will traverse the island by hiking from the South Shore up and over the 10,000-foot summit of Haleakala while carrying their mountain bikes.
It was pretty challenging to Tetris our bikes through the trail, but I mean, this is incredible.
From the summit, they'll transition to their bikes and head back down to the North Shore, completing the traverse.
And that was one of the best mountain bike descents I've ever had in my life as far as scenery goes. It's unbelievable.
On day 2, they'll meet up with local waterman Niccolo Porcella and attempt the Maliko Run, a 10-mile open ocean stand-up paddleboard mission.
From the moment we left that bay, it was just hectic.
The weekend starts now.
All right, you ready? Ready to roll? Let's hit it. We just touched down in Maui and gearing up for a fun multi-sport adventure this weekend. So first time in Hawaii for you, Jay?
First time ever.
Good. All right, so we landed in Maui, we got to the hotel. The awesome team at Crank Cycles dropped the mountain bikes off for us, which is huge. But now comes the big challenge of figuring out how we're gonna strap these mountain bikes to our backpacks. We'll make it work, it's just a matter of managing the awkwardness.
All right, so the goal here is to make this big hike as easy as possible. It doesn't feel horrible.
Dude, it looks solid. Are you kidding me?
I'm happy with the first run. For having not ever tried this before, feeling good about it. But it's really early on Saturday morning, and we got a few other things to do. It's time to go to sleep.
See you in the morning. It's bright and early. We're heading to the trailhead, the base of the south side of Haleakala, for a 10,000-foot climb up Haleakala. Should be interesting.
Haleakala, Hawaiian for House of the Sun, is a 10,000-foot volcano and national park on the island of Maui. It features a wide range of climates and terrain that Mike and Jason intend to explore as they hike their bikes up to the summit before biking back down to the North Shore, completing a full traverse of the island.
We have arrived.
We have made it.
So we're at the start of the official Sea to Sky Trail, the Kaupau Church.
Here it is. This is unreal. This is about as good as it gets. So really happy we got up early for sunrise because this is incredible.
As soon as we got here, the rain stopped, the sun came out. We're starting to maybe see some glimpses of the mountains, so we're gonna get geared up and hit the trail. In order to do a full south to north traverse, we have to actually touch the water on the south side to start, so that's what we're gonna do. Oh! All right, let's go. All right, it's 7:20 in the morning. We're about to officially start the watches. You ready?
Heart rate, 97, is that good?
You a little nervous? There are no bikes allowed in national parks, so we're gonna start this mission by biking as far as we can, and then we're gonna have to break down our bikes, put them on our pack, and hike it the rest of the way. There's a trailhead right there.
As Mike and Jason reach the national park boundary and prepare to hike, the weather turns and a storm rolls in, setting the stage for a day-long battle against the weather.
All right, so we just got to the base of the national park. We've not really prepared for full-on rain conditions, and it's definitely gonna be pretty cold up there. It'll be at 10,000 feet, so it's definitely on our minds, but I think we're gonna be okay if we can just keep moving, and if the weather holds off, that'll be ideal.
What do you think? Think the spoke's gonna break? Beautiful.
We're gonna start hiking. We've got another 9,000 feet of climbing ahead of us, so we're gonna go. Ugh. It's 9:06. It's nice to be moving. Sun's kind of coming out. Rain's gone away for now, so just gonna keep hammering.
I think, now that we're on the trail, we know we've got a big day ahead of us, but it feels good to just kind of start moving. Watch this loose rock.
All right, we're making steady progress. Rain just started to come down again, and the mountain is looking stormy.
This old growth forest is awesome. These trees are pretty majestic. There's a bug in my ear. I didn't notice when this happened, but a bug just flew into my ear and it's going absolutely bananas inside my eardrum right now.
I don't see anything, dude. I really don't. I can see pretty far in there too. We were just hiking, having a nice conversation, and all of a sudden Jason started mashing his head back and forth like he was at a hard rock concert. Claims that a bug flew into his ear and is somehow like in his eardrum.
He's just burying himself closer and closer into my brain. All right, let's keep going.
It's not gonna hurt you.
No, you're right. We're great.
It was pretty challenging to like Tetris our bikes through the trail. But I mean, I have no complaints. This is incredible. These waterfalls are pretty wicked. You got the bug out of your ear.
I haven't heard that bug in 30 minutes, so that's a great sign.
Small victories, that's what we're all about.
1:30 on the dot. We've climbed 6,500 feet of vertical gain, and it looks like we have 3,500 left and 10 miles to the summit.
It's getting a little chilly.
It's getting a little chilly, but I don't mind being where we are right now. These waterfalls are pretty insane.
All right, let's go. This is sick right here.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
The guys reached the crater rim by late afternoon, hours behind schedule, hoping to have summited by this point. The wild and barren volcanic landscape near the summit is slow hiking due to the altitude, wind, and potentially cold temperatures, but the views can be amazing.
We're here to feel the peaks and valleys, the highs and lows of Hawaii, and that's what we're gonna go do. We've been on the move for 9 hours and 53 minutes. We covered about 18 miles so far and 9,430 feet. This day has been exactly everything we wanted it to be so far.
Totally, it's been awesome.
Beautiful, and we've been working hard. This hasn't been a gimme.
I'm really excited to assemble these bikes and get downhill. Wow, so we just hit the road. Woo. All right.
Absolutely wild.
Dude.
That's amazing. Right now we're standing at the summit of Haleakala. Feels good to be up here.
Mike and Jason's summit experience is short-lived, as they are now battling the sunset and need to assemble their bikes and head back down.
Yeah, we're racing the clock because we've got about an hour of daylight. So the faster we get these bikes assembled, the more daylight we have to guide our ride down. And that was one of the best mountain bike descents I've ever had in my life as far as scenery goes. It's unbelievable, but it's getting really dark.
Believing they would summit earlier in the day, Mike and Jason failed to pack headlamps. Luckily, they are able to borrow one from the Beat Monday production crew. With just one headlamp to illuminate the descent, it will be tricky navigating the dark and winding trails.
Never travel without a headlamp. That was a total rookie move on our part. We knew there was a possibility we were going to be out here at night, and now we're going to get extra value.
Is that the gate? Hold up. Came down the Skyline Trail, jumped onto the road, and we just ascended solid 3,000 feet of vert on a paved road. It's 9:21. We have about 20 to 25 miles of road riding left. We're hoping we can pull that off in about an hour and a half and eat some dinner. Oh boy, next layer of complexity. Rain in the face.
Despite the dark and the addition of rain and traffic, Mike and Jason complete their ride and arrive on the North Shore.
Oh, this is like full-on beach break. Oh boy. What? We're at the beach! Just landed in the North Shore.
Woo. Right now, it is 10:22. We've been on the go for 15 hours, and we're about to put an end to this adventure. It's been a good day. Just touch the water to officially end the mission.
Good morning, day 2 of our adventure here in Maui. Yesterday exceeded expectations in all of the best ways. It was a proper adventure. It was not easy by any means. So it was a lot slower, a lot harder than we expected, but man, it was so fun. We're super excited for today's mission. Niccolo is just this incredible local waterman, so I think we're in pretty good hands today. He is going to take us on a downwind paddleboard mission called the Maliko Run.
The infamous Maliko Run is a challenging 10-mile open ocean downwind stand-up paddleboard run. The journey starts in Maliko Gulch and finishes in Kahului Harbor. Jason and Mike will have to contend with strong wind and ocean swells, pushing their balance and skill on the stand-up paddleboards.
I've never done any open ocean paddleboarding. Both of us have tried paddleboarding on the flat water. My biggest reservation for today is, are we going to be able to stand up on the paddleboards?
So we're standing here at Maliko Bay. We're waiting for the local guide, Niccolo, to show up with some boards. I'm a little bit nervous. Mike spent a little bit more time in the water on boards, but I think regardless, we're gonna have a great time.
Mike and Jason meet up with local waterman Niccolo Porcella. Niccolo is a kite surfer, big wave rider, and base jumper who has made the Maliko Run many times. The guys will rely on his knowledge and advice to help them make the stand-up paddle run.
This is Maliko Bay. This is where we launch. We want to paddle out for the first 150, 200 yards, and then we start going downwind with the wind. So really the most challenging part is the beginning of paddling out. The beginning part of when you stand up is the most challenging. Remember, you have more balance when you're stroking. So you can lean and have more balance, and then once you start getting a little bit of speed, starts to kind of flow, yes.
All right, so we're all geared up here. Officially time to start the watch.
I'm just happy it was you first.
Right from the moment we left that bay and we were sort of paddling diagonal in the wind, yeah, the Maliko Run was hectic. That's the only word I can use to describe it. When we turned downwind, it got a little bit easier. So for the first like 20 minutes of it, you know, turning downwind, there was no way I could stand up, but slowly I started to get more and more comfortable.
And then once you finally got up a little bit, you were just in absolute survival mode, trying to do everything you could not to fall in the water, because the worst part about the adventure was getting back up onto the board, which was causing pretty legitimate rash.
The process of standing up is like, you gotta time it right, you gotta see like what's happening behind you, and then you get up and like you'll ride a wave a little bit, and then there's this moment where you kind of slow down when the wave passes you, and it's this constant sort of back and forth and then side to side balancing act that you have to do. And then you have to also really time the paddling. It was just a constant learning experience out there, like trial and error, seeing what's working, what's not working, and then sometimes it was like, honestly, a lot faster to just stay on my knees and just paddle as fast as I could. But there's just this undeniable energy out there. I mean, there's big swells, there's wind, there's rain. It was really, really intense. I got a whole new level of respect for people who do that, and I'm excited to try it again sometime.
I can say it was challenging for them. I definitely saw them struggling a bit. Honestly, for people that haven't really been stand-upping quite often, this is challenging, like big time, especially when you have massive rain squalls and pretty shifty in and out wind that was, hitting 30 miles an hour. So it was challenging, but it was a blast. We were out there in the elements. They were just positive attitude, and just that's really what we want when we're out there. So it was good.
The adventure was wild. According to my watch, that downwind paddle was about 10 miles and it took us about 3 hours. This is by far the smallest I've ever felt out in the open ocean. I mean, the swells were massive. It was a pretty powerful experience and humbling, steep learning curve, but I'm really glad we had a chance to get out there and learn from Niccolo and give it a shot.
Go run. Oh, sick. For the mission that they did yesterday, I mean, hiking up with a bike in your back, 10,000 feet, and then biking all the way down to Paia, and then the next day, go for a stand-up Maliko to the harbor, you're a freaking animal. You gotta be really kind of next level, and they definitely demonstrated that.
So today was incredible. We had a great time on the water, but it's late afternoon. We've got to get our things together and head to the airport.
All right,
But
man.
you guys
Good
have
stuff.
a safe trip,
See you,
and
Niccolo.
we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks
Cheers.
a lot.
Yeah, boys.
See ya.
Aloha.
This was certainly a very memorable trip. It was unique in that we had multiple objectives for this weekend, and I really loved it. It was a really cool experience to check out Maui, to see the mountain, to play in the ocean, and I'm excited to come back at some point.
Back to Colorado, back to the grind. But the good news is, beat Monday, yet again.
You were in your head a little bit nervous about sharks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The first time Jason fell in, I saw him get back on his board faster than anyone has ever gotten on a stand-up paddleboard. He was like, his body barely touched the water and he was already back on his board.
Back up.
Oh, I saw that right away. I was dying laughing.
And then eventually the ration got so bad I would just like sit in the water for a while.
Like, take me, put me out of its misery.